And then when I was 7, so we moved from that apartment into a house in the Bronx. This house that had been there probably more than a century old, and our neighborhood was all black and Puerto Rican, and we're clearly the only Indian family moving in.
Do you think that's where you had majority of your mystical experiences?
100%.
Do you consider it like a haunted house?
100% haunted. I'd like to say inhabited, because haunted sounds like there was something evil in it. Not at all. Yeah.
Can you do it again?
Sure.
So this is how you hit it.
Okay, you guys follow along. Just take a deep breath and relax your shoulders and close your eyes while you hear this sound. It quiets your mind down pretty instantly. I've seen some of my clients have done this for their newborn babies. Not very close. They don't need to be that close. Cats respond to this beautifully. Right. Now, these are made of several different metals. Some of them have silver and bronze and copper, and some have gold in them. We have everything that you see.
Well, say goodbye.
Yeah. And keep practicing.
So it's kind of like it's getting to this point where everybody's starting to question what is real and what is considered valid.
I like anything that blows up the
3D
narrative,
reality.
at least to help us question things. That's the way we grow, is we have to.
We are sitting in front of a very big surprise. Ta-da!
You guys.
Explain the difference between just spirit guides and a gatekeeper spirit guide.
Okay, so your spirit team consists of spirit guides who are working in different departments. I'm going to tell you how it is, guys. This is really what I've experienced as a channeler and a medium.
What we're going to do with you guys is you're going to play along with us, and we have some surprises.
Yeah, I want to say that.
We're going to do some psychic tests.
Yeah, we're going to jump right in, and I just want to say to you guys that even if you've never done this before or you're pretty seasoned, this is still some great exercises that we're going to show you how to do, and then you can do at home with a friend. They've been doing what we've been talking about for 20 years, which is no matter what, we have to come through with gratitude. Time the same way as an empath? Like, do you feel even the planet has moved halfway around the sun?
Yeah, time has definitely sped up, as you guys probably have figured out by now. But I think it's because it's a conscious collective. It has to do with also how we've married into technology so intimately. Look, Kelly Billings said, Riz, about your Britney. You always elicit, Santa Riz. You always elicit people saying, Riz.
Riz.
Santa Riz.
Riz is in Santa's belly this evening.
Okay, that's pretty sick. And if you are believing that things are wrong versus right, instead of looking at things in divine perfection, that everything is unfolding in its exact timing that it is intended to unfold. You like the old-fashioned original kind, which is from Brax, I think?
I like it old-fashioned Scooby-Doo, and I like it old-fashioned candy corn, and old-fashioned psychicness.
Empath question. As an empath myself, I would love some tips on how to handle large crowds. I'm still sometimes very overwhelmed by them. Thank you ahead of time. To be honest, I don't know if it quite ever goes away. However, there's ways you can play games and have fun with yourself. For me,
I just like to say what everybody's thinking.
Oh my God.
But afraid to say.
Oh my God.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God. Well, what's happening is people can barely even text because they're crying, laughing so hard right now, and they're like dying. They're dying. I'm dying. Oh my God. Okay.
Sounds like a party to me if everybody's dying.
It's true.
Anybody got a dead uncle or dead grandpa out there? Want to talk to him? Why don't you name this show the Dead Grandpa Show? That's where it seems to be. Everybody wants a message from their dead grandpa. Give your dead grandpa a break. He was tired of you when he was alive. He certainly don't want to hear from you now.
Oh my God!
Give the man a break.
I'm actually not gonna make it.
You wouldn't leave him alone when he was alive, wanting to sit on his knee, wanting to go on his boat, want him to take you to Disneyland. Now the man's dead, you still want a message from him, leave him alone. Talk to me.
Riz is never gonna believe what happened today. When Riz comes back and finds out what you have done, he's gonna be very, very surprised.
And now we are going to open up the Mystic Vault for you guys. Our top mystical stories of 2024.
I wanted to talk to you guys about deja vu.
All right.
So I'm sure you guys have had deja vu. Some of you may or may not know what it is. Any move you make is better than not making a move at all.
Sometimes you disturb the peace to bring in peace.
That's exactly
Right.
right. And
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Come take a picture.
The ghosts and the spooky ones, they come out, and I'm back from the dead. Not even death could handle the Macho Man. Not even death can stop me. Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, Professor. I was just at the library.
Just remember this as you take their questions and those who want to know. Remember, not all who seek knowledge are prepared for the answers. Off you go.
Must she always be here?
Apparently, Bellatrix, and you have something to offer this Halloween,
I do.
as you have forced me to tell them of their fate.
That's right.
Elemental spirit guides are not physical plants. Elemental spirit guides are those beings that are nature spirits. You might say that they are the essence of what?
I must have my chocolate.
Would you mind if I proceeded, Bellatrix? Apologies to our friend here.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, hey, hey.
How's everybody doing? How did you like our intro video?
I like that there's something like in the waiting room.
Yes. You guys.
We need that like at the DMV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I found out today? That there's an area of Virginia that's called DMV. It's like
No way.
DC
Forgot about that.
something with the M. Do you guys know what it is? DMV is an area.
Is it really?
Yeah, because I was talking to the guy today I was talking, which is part of my little announcement I have later.
Uh-huh.
So I was talking to someone and he was telling me that he was from the DMV.
No.
And so I kind of like in the conversation, I just kept going. I was like, okay, I thought he meant like he worked at the DMV. Because he said, I'm from the DMV, like as if I was supposed to know what that was.
Yeah. I would think you're actually born in the DMV. Or
Yeah.
you're living inside of a building. at
Yeah.
the
Well,
DMV.
it takes
That's
9
what I
months to
actually think.
get your number called. So you might as well
That's
be born
true.
there.
Well, everybody, welcome. I've had some little changes with my alchemy, and I am very happy actually to be back to red. It's been a
Yay.
while.
Your natural color.
Yeah, right. I love red. I think it's really fun, and it's it's time. It's time. It was time for me to have
Change
some
is
fun.
good.
Change is good.
Hmm.
So we are wanting to check in with you guys and see how everybody's doing after this Valentine's Day full moon.
This snowstorm,
big energies.
rainstorm. Here in Southern California, we were bombarded with 3 days of rain, maybe
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And the rest of the country, snowstormed.
Snow.
We had mudslides because
Yeah.
after the fires and then the rain, which is
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
So if you guys are snowed in, I hope that you're cozy. Let us know where you're watching from, what city and state, what country
yeah,
you're
let
watching
us
from.
know.
Yeah.
Hello to all our old timers. We love you. Thank you for being such a big support. And as you guys, some of you know, Riz has been on TikTok lately.
Yeah.
And he's been doing some impromptu live readings there. And some of you from this show have gone over there and seen him there. And it's really fun. It's like we're going into a different house. Right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
it is.
feel like
It
we've
is.
seen you in
TikTok's really fun because
Yeah, it's a totally different feeling.
I mean, we have fun here.
Yeah.
I feel like Facebook is the most serious version of people's selves.
yeah.
Instagram is the more social version of you.
Right.
TikTok is like anything
right?
goes. Just
Right.
like, you could be at the drive-through and go on TikTok and start talking to people, which I think is a pretty good idea.
Well, if you guys were paying attention to the video, you will see that the super chats and how the readings work tonight are all spelled out for you. And Erica, our trusty assistant, said on the chats exactly how to do it. So pay attention to those rules. And you are watching the Mystic Psychic Sunday, and I am empath and intuitive Lady O.
I'm Psychic Riz the Wiz, Psychic Medium, Trance Channel Shaman. And tonight, excuse me.
And welcome.
And tonight is, and welcome. And tonight is, we've been doing this now for a year and a half.
Yes.
Pretty much every Sunday. Guys, this is going to be, basically we're doing it every other Sunday.
Yes.
So we used to do it every Sunday. Now we're doing it every other Sunday. So we will be back on not next week, but the following week. But just listen, we post videos during the week here of channeling, all things that are mystic topic related. So all diving into the unknown, whether we're talking about how to develop your psychic intuition or be a better empath, or figuring out your connection with the universe, your connection with your spirit guides, your connection with really your higher self, right? That's the part, that's what you want to do in this life, is merge with your higher self and complete your tasks here on earth. And so we help you navigate the evolution of yourself. That's what these messages are about. So you can ask questions during the readings, which are about anything at all. But what I do as a psychic medium, besides just give you what I see in terms of the future or reading even into the present or past, is I also give you some tools that, as a shaman practicing for more than 20 years, and probably my whole life I've been thinking that way, but working with people for 2 decades now, I've come to realize that psychic messages also need to be backed up with or fortified with some transformational tools. So that's what I offer you, what O offers you, and it's just a hangout,
Yeah. So I want to let you know who's on the chats tonight. So we have Barbara. She says she's from Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia.
That's the DMV?
Yep.
Yes.
And
I thought it was DC, Maryland, Virginia.
No,
It's Delaware, Maryland,
Delaware,
Virginia?
Maryland, and
Okay.
So we have ERI, so Erie, right?
Wait.
Erie, ERI, and
yeah,
she or he is from the Big Island volcano, which is going off.
Oh, whoa.
And
Is it really?
Yes.
Well, I got to look that up.
And we have snowing in Michigan. And
Of course. What else is
and
going to be?
snowing in Connecticut and Texas. It's
Connecticut.
here. We have
What
Amy
part
in
of
the house.
Connecticut?
Freezing in Jersey, Emily.
Oh, Emily.
Barbara says she's watching from North Carolina, which I love.
You
North
guys,
Carolina.
yeah, we're going to be making our way out there in August, actually, to do some private events.
Snowing in Massachusetts with Colleen.
You guys, bundle up. So it's like
Snowing
9
in
o'clock
North
there.
Idaho. So let's talk a little bit. Surprise, surprise. Let's talk a little bit about Valentine's Day.
And the full moon.
Yes.
Leo full moon.
So Valentine's Day, guys, holy crap. It is a big day. And it's a big day because people like it and don't like it. And they hate it and they love it. And there's such extreme feelings. And it changes based on who you're with. And if you're with somebody and if you like to be told what to do, some people say, I like to enjoy my partner year round. I don't need somebody to give me a holiday to tell me.
Word.
And there's all these variations of how people feel around Valentine's Day, but it is for sure everybody focuses and concentrates or tries to ignore the fact that love is the topic of the day. We have learned the hard way and the easy way to go with the flow. Some of our Valentine's Day start off rocky because of the pressure and tension, which I'm sure you guys like totally understand because like, okay, we got to do everything and we got to do all the Valentine's Day stuff.
Do you think there's a lot of pressure on Valentine's Day?
There's days
for people?
And then there's days that we just are like, let's just have fun. Who cares? Like, we don't even care about Valentine's Day. Let's
I
just
mean,
have
I
a
think
good time.
Yeah.
So because we've been together so long, we've done so many Valentine's Days that we kind of play around with it.
We always do something that's Valentine's Day related. It's not like we act
Yeah.
like it's just another day. Because to me,
well, I went red on
and you went red on
Valentine's.
Valentine's Day.
That was my present to myself. But the full moon brought a lot of emotions up for people. And
Well, Leo is ruled for the full moon was in Leo. Guys, just a little tip, little astrology 101. How do you know what sign the full moon is in? It's the opposite sign of what season you're in. So if you're in Aquarius season, the opposite of Aquarius is Leo. And by opposite, I mean polar, opposite on the astrological wheel. So every sign has a polar. You're always going to be drawn to that sign, but also you can also have a conflict with that sign because there's just something to learn from that sign. It's very powerful. Leo's and Aquarius is, Aries and Libra. You know, Libra is very charming and has a way with words, and Aries has no way with words. They just put it out there. So Aries is there to teach Libra immediacy of their communication, and Libra is there to teach Aries a kind of restraint in conversation. Do you agree?
I would like to go back to the Aries statement.
Yeah.
So they do say they are blunt and say
No filter.
no filter. But let's like talk about London, for instance, our youngest daughter being an Aries.
Yeah.
And she's the poet. So she speaks so eloquently, like amazing the way she
When
speaks.
she wants to.
Yes.
But her natural flow, like when she focuses, yes, because Aries are creative. Plus she has her different, we're going to go into the charts now of everyone.
And then Robbie, our oldest, is an Aries, and he is very meticulous with what he says.
But what's his moon?
I don't know. I actually.
Erica, we look right straight
We
to
look at
Erica.
Erica. Erica's
No,
supposed to
I
know.
don't know if I know he's the one chart that we don't
Yeah,
have
we
all
have
the
to
info
get his
on.
birth certificate.
Do you guys know your moon? Your sun and your moon? It should be law. I think that whoever is president should put into law that everyone must know their top three: sun, rising, and moon.
So
if I was president, that's what I would make law.
What Riz and I want to do is we want to change things to where IMBD or Wikipedia, which it does actually, or the actual like Netflix or all the shows, when they show the stars and their name and their picture, right underneath it should say
their top
their
three.
sign.
Their main three.
Because that would make such a huge difference.
You know what, guys, if it's your first time watching, clearly you're interested in these kinds of topics. But to all the parents out there, I would say that raising your child by knowing their chart, the basics, their sun, moon, and rising, you can really raise them more peacefully for yourself. Because you can't say to one kid who's an Aries the same thing you will say to another kid who's a Capricorn. You can say the same thing and it will land differently. And you will have much more effective parenting, and it'll be much less headaches for yourself if you get their charts done by an astrologer. And Erica, you do family charts, right?
I do. Those are actually my favorite charts.
That's your specialty.
Is for kids.
Yeah, so get your family chart done. Erica can do. She does them by Zoom and phone.
And she also offers by donation this one very special service she offers.
Yes.
It's even just a gift for non-speaking children and their families.
Yeah, if your child is nonverbal, not that they haven't developed language yet, but they can't speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot in the astrology chart that can explain what their inner world is like. That is very confirming for parents of non kids.
Yeah.
But speaking of going back to the full moon in Leo, Leo is ruled by the heart and the spine.
Yeah.
Which is why Leo's, it's all about standing tall with a big heart. Okay. So on the full moon, on Valentine's Day, it's like a double whammy.
Well, you want to hear what some of the signs that we're dealing with Valentine's Day?
Yeah.
We have, let's see, we have Jasenia. She's a Gemini sun and Scorpio moon.
Woo.
We have Linda.
Don't want to get into an argument with you.
We have Linda Straub, who's Aries and Cancer, and which is her moon sign. And then we have Nancy is Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini.
All air.
Hippie
She's
Love.
all top three is air.
All air. Nancy,
Amazing.
I would love to have a chat with you.
It will never end.
Hippie Love is Pisces, Virgo moon, Leo rising.
Pisces with a Virgo moon. So your Virgo is opposite to your sun.
You're probably very psychic. I could be very psychic.
Virgo, Pisces, moon, and what?
Leo rising.
Yeah.
Wow.
Melody Longhurst, happy birthday, Buckshot. Happy birthday,
it was his-
Buckshot.
He was on
birthday
TikTok
yesterday.
yesterday,
That's right.
and I gave him a message
That's
from my
right.
Oracle
Happy
deck
birthday.
card.
Oh.
Happy birthday. Kathy is sun and moon in my birth house, Taurus. We have Erie, who is Scorpio sun.
Airy.
Scorpio sun and Aquarius moon.
Scorpio sun,
Ooh.
Aquarius moon. Interesting.
We have Christina B, sun in Virgo, moon in Cancer.
Is that you, Erica? Also,
That is, yeah.
Erica's
What's
Virgo
their-
with
I
Cancer
wonder,
moon.
Christina, what's your rising sign? Oh,
Yeah,
You know, so it was a time. I
Dr.
think that-
Ace is Libra with Taurus rising, or Taurus moon and Aries rising. These are all really
Wait, that's
intense.
interesting. Say that one again.
So Nancy says she is all air and does talk forever. Dr. Ace is a Libra sun, Taurus moon,
Oh my god!
and Aries rising.
Wow.
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 So you hang on to the furniture, basically.
It's gonna walking an earthquake.
Oh my God. Miriam Baz is sun in Sag, moon in Leo, and rising Cancer.
Oh my
It's like
god!
a tropical storm.
So basically, like you just blow everything up and then you cry afterwards, and then your
Oh my
Sagittarius part doesn't
God.
care. There you go.
What an intense group of people, everybody.
Quite a group tonight.
Yeah,
well,
it's
you
gonna be
know-
fun reading for all of you.
So I'm a Taurus sun,
Yeah.
Leo rising, Leo moon.
Mm-hmm. I'm a Leo sun, Virgo rising, and Scorpio moon.
And Erica.
I am a Virgo sun, Cancer moon, Leo rising.
So you're in good company, y'all. Because you got this intense group watching us, but we're pretty intense ourselves.
That's right.
So, but it's good. It's good. I think that's part of the reason why you guys tune in is we show you how to just basically take all this intensity, psychic abilities, and these sensitivities and learn how to kind of navigate in this arena and also be metaphysical and multidimensional and still be practical. And we kind of combine all of that together and show you guys like how we did it. And I think this is like, I mean, I was talking to Erica today. I said, what if this turns into like a little movement and we like build like a little community where it's like our kind of the way we look at how to kind of blend these worlds together.
There's got to be a
becomes the
word for it.
thing.
You know, like there's people who have
Yeah,
this-
you guys come up with a title of like a movement
'Cause we're
or
not
something or a thought.
like
or,
there's people who call themselves boho chic. There's people who call themselves
Right,
gamers. There's people who are
right.
we're not new. We're new age, but we're also like we're
but
living in
we're
the regular
mystic.
world. We're living in the regular world, raising kids, going to Target. You know what
Paying
I'm
our
saying?
taxes,
Paying our taxes and
Yeah.
all that regular stuff.
regular stuff.
So how do you? What's the? There's got to be a really cool term that can combine like you're living in the real world, but you're also a mystic. But I wanted to say one more thing about astrology. An interesting story, guys. I wanted to share with you.
Did you get your water?
I have it in my big giant
No,
water bottle.
no.
So
Erica,
I
can
was,
you please get his
Sure.
nice. I got new glasses, and you are not picking up that big mug.
I have nothing.
You need to
Well, you know
be
what? I can put it back
matching.
here. The table is half on the carpet and half on the.
It's
So
wobbly.
this is wobbly, so I can't really put it. Well, you know what? Wait a
So-
second. Maybe I can. No, it'll
yeah,
work.
because
It'll
you
work.
have to match me.
So can I finish my story? Can I start my story? Okay, listen. Thank you so much. Okay. Is this just plain water?
Someone else prepared.
Oh, it's
so-
just plain water.
I can. It's okay. So there's a amazing astrologer. Her name is Susan Miller.
Mhm.
You guys
Oh,
ever
yeah.
read? You know Susan Miller?
Oh yeah, she's like.
Did I ever
OG.
tell you when I had lunch with her?
Oh no, here we go.
Yes, I actually
The
know
Riz
this story.
Vault.
This one isn't. This you did actually tell me this.
The
story.
Vault of Riz.
So Susan Miller, she's been around for I don't know, probably 30 years at least.
Okay.
Wonderful astrologer, and one day back, I'm talking back in what was 2009. One of my friends from New York was in LA, and he's like, "Oh, let's meet up for lunch." I said, "Great." He goes, "I'm going to bring my friend. She's an astrologer." I said, "Oh, that's great." So we went down to the raw food restaurant that used to be around Giuliano's, which was the greatest raw food restaurant.
If you guys know about Giuliano's, please say something.
Oh my god.
It was changed to Planet Raw. But if you
Kelp
never had
the
raw
Beauty Queen
food,
shake.
you lose your mind at this place. Anyway, so I'm there waiting for them, and he calls me and he's like, I can't make it, but just have lunch with my friend. I'm like, okay, you have lunch with a total stranger.
Right.
That's fine. I mean, I see total strangers for readings, so I might as well.
Isn't that
Right.
far up?
So she shows up, older lady, and then I made the connection. I realized who it
My
was,
gosh.
that it was Susan Miller. And we just sit and have lunch. And it was wonderful talking to her. I thought, wow, what a great opportunity to chat with her. And she says, what day and time were you born? And I told her. She did my chart in her head.
That's awesome.
She goes, that means that you have your house in the road of all the astrological talking. I'm not very good
Wow.
with the houses.
That's incredible.
Isn't that amazing? I'm sure that if she looked at my chart, she would be more detailed, but she knew things just from me telling her the date and time that I was born. She was able to tell things.
That's incredible.
That's
Isn't that amazing?
Well, Riz and I found out that we had something in common beside many other things we had in common, but something we did when we were younger. So we bought the same first astrology book.
Mm-hmm.
Before I tell you the title, I would like to know which was the first astrology book that you read, because it elicits something. It's like a big deal the first time.
I was 10 years old, by the way.
And I was 16. That's young, but you were very astute and awake for a young person.
I mean, I was
stories,
yeah.
like I was still like counting ants on the ground, and you literally were deciphering and organizing people and understanding at 10 years old.
I was.
Okay. But the book was Love Signs
Linda Goodman.
with Linda Goodman. Oh my God. How many of you guys read that? I read it from cover to cover like it was gold plated pages. I just absorbed every word. How did you feel when you read it?
I was blown away because I would look up every combination. Guys, if you don't know it, Love Signs, it's about this thick, and she breaks down every sign's compatibility with every sign and by gender. So she'll break down Capricorn man, Libra woman. Then she'll do in the next chapter, Capricorn woman, Libra man. She'll switch it up. Then she starts the chapter off with just the Capricorn Libra friendship.
Do you know to this day she's been still one of the most accurate astrologers?
Incredible. She's now on the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would love to know.
Let's ask Linda to drop in today. Maybe she'll give us some messages. You guys know that the messages are coming from spirit guides, my guides, your guides. It's just a spirit guide party. And when Erica is going to tell me who's asking questions, the way that it works for me, guys, just to think about readings before we get into it, it's that I am drawn to certain questions because that's what I'm supposed to answer. So the readings are free. Some readings are paid. You can get to the front of the line. But I want you to know the way that I pick the questions, the free questions, is that she'll read me whose name it is. And so I'm not picking you by your name, just so you know. I always like to say this to everybody knows it's fair. It's where I am drawn, where I get a green light, answer that question. Okay, that's how it works. And if I'm supposed to answer your question tonight, I will. And let's just begin.
And I'd like to tell you what you can ask me, being an empath. So let me tell you a little bit about that. It's a very big area, big topic. So I try to bring it into a focus. So being an empath means you're highly sensitive. That means that you may have discovered you're an empath, or maybe you haven't yet discovered you're an empath, but it just basically means you go through your entire life feeling the emotions and feelings of the people around you, including your own. I always have
Also
a little moment with myself right there.
Also in physical spaces, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you feel other people's emotions, what happens in the early days is you get confused because you don't know what's your emotions, what's their emotions. And then since you feel such a heightened sense of emotional content all the time, you tend to be highly emotional yourself, and then you tend to like act out. So some people become addicts. Some people hurt themselves. Some people help people. Some people hide from the public. There's all these crazy extreme things that end up happening because you don't know how to deal with these big feelings, big emotions, big vibrations.
And I
that are
find that
running
that's
through
true,
you.
right? Anytime that you have people who have some sort of extra sensory gift, whether it's a psychic or a channeler or a medium or an empath, or an energy worker, throughout history they've been labeled as either crazy, schizophrenic.
Right.
You know how many people were trance channelers who would leave their body and have the spirit guide speak to them back in, thousands of years ago, hundreds of years ago, certainly in Middle Ages. They were put to death
Can you believe that?
or put in cells.
And they were psychics. They were channelers. They were empathic. They were intuitives. They were holistic healers.
And then in the more modern age, they were accused of witchcraft, when meanwhile they were really shamans.
Now, it's interesting they call it New Age because, yes, it kind of feels like you're moving into an evolution into the future, but it's an old age.
It's the oldest age there is.
It's the beginning of our
everything.
civilizations. All civilizations started here.
I feel like it's our true nature, right? Because we gaze up at the universe into the stars. We gaze naturally in wonderment. We just naturally wonder what's out there. And I think it's because we come from there. And that's why we're always wondering and drawn into that mystery.
Also, I want to bring up, before I forget, sorry, I want to bring up, I don't know if you guys have noticed in our main channel, when you go to the front page, you'll see we've been dissecting and bringing a lot of smaller topics from our larger conversations forward, so you have a chance to have bite-sized pieces. But one of the most recent shows we did is on dreams, which we found a lot of people very interested and wanting more information. And one thing you guys should know, being that Riz and I are very highly sensitive and very psychic people, is our sleep time. Our nighttime is just as very active and busy and full of information as our daytime. And so we talk about it just as much. And we have a lot of information about sleeping. Everything from body positions, heat to cold, to what you eat before you go to sleep, practices before you go to bed, how to sleep, how to wake up, what happens when you first wake up, what happens the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, first hour. Everything is meticulously planned out for us. And we do it through trial and error, because what happens if we don't, I'll just tell you this part. If we don't show like awareness and consciousness for ourselves and our own sleeping practices, we are miserable in our bodies. It is so important to understand, because you take on so much energy throughout the day and you're processing such big, heavy vibrations of frequencies and emotions from others. And when you're a healer and you're psychic and you're talking to people, it carries on, and you have to have these practices. So if you guys have questions in this also, we'd be happy to answer. So with that being said, I think we are ready to begin. I'm going to get my handy dandy little notebook.
And I'm going to start off with a spirit shout out.
Great.
And how are we doing, E?
So this person that I have to give a message for, who's watching live, there's someone on the other side that's giving you a message, and either you have a lion tattoo, or this person whom you love who's on the other side, they have a lion tattoo. But there's somebody here talking to me about the lion tattoo. So if you're watching live and that's you, let Erica know, and I'm more than happy to give you that message. All right, so let's see.
Wonderful.
Let's go to the questions.
Okay.
We have people in the express line.
We do.
Okay, let's go for that.
We do have some super
All right.
chats. So let me just pull the first one up. And that question is from Carolyn. Last time Riz said my house would sell by June, and I just signed a deal that is supposed to close in June. Woo!
Ring the bell, right?
the bell.
Let me get.
Yeah.
I gotta reach for the bell over
that.
here.
And then she then said, now on my love horizon, any romantic treats ahead? Thanks.
And I like how you said romantic treats, Carolyn. Let me tune in for you. Your spirit guides are saying that right now what's going to really work for you in your magic is what you're like wearing. So wearing, and what I'm getting is you need to wear some pearls, and these pearls have the magic of the ocean, and they have the, pearls have this color in them that is like iridescent. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the spirit. I call pearls, believe it or not, I consider pearls part of the spirit animal kingdom because they come from an oyster. A lot of people, and there's a great spiritual teaching in this, guys. If you don't know how pearls are made. So pearls are made from the irritation of the oyster. So something gets into the oyster. People think it's made of sand. Very rarely is a pearl made of sand. It is some little debris or some little foreign substance that gets inside the oyster, and the oyster then begins to coat and cover this little irritant. And it coats it with this natural compound that people call mother of pearl because it gives birth to the pearl. And so it keeps coating this little debris, and it keeps coating this little debris and transforms it into this beautiful object, this thing of beauty. And so the message of the oyster is that even those things that have irritated you, permeated or penetrated your boundaries, gotten past your fortress's walls, and have put all of your systems on high alert, all of your internal systems, just like the oyster, go on high alert for this irritant, but turn it into something of beauty. And so, Carolyn, pearls are a very good thing for you to wear, whether it's a little choker. And beyond, to kind of expound on that message, Carolyn, it's about how you are celebrating your physical beauty. Yes, we are in physical bodies. We have to take care of this vessel. We have to celebrate it, not speak down to ourselves about our body parts, our faces, comparing ourselves to some standard of beauty all the time. It's like finding that peace to celebrate yourself. And through that, that's how I see the energy is going out. So that's your magic. The oyster is your little spirit animal right now in the kingdom of romance.
Ooh,
Amazing.
I like that. Kingdom of Romance.
We have the lion.
Who's the lion?
So Melody said, I have an ex-boyfriend who had a lion tattoo because he was a Leo. His name was Derek, and he passed away during COVID.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Melody. So Derek coming through and expressing that love and connection to you. And I do want to say, it's not that people on the other side are sorry because they understand their connection with you had to do with give and take and karma. But he is expressing, like, if he was ever harsh to you, that there's a healing energy that he's bringing across about not listening to you. Yeah, not listening to you. And he wanted to send that kind of beautiful, protective energy around you. And he knows all about your spiritual path. He totally sees it, and it's like, that's her. That's she's going. That's her. That's Melody. Did he call you Mel? Because he's not saying melody all the way. So just sees that as a confirmation of your loved one coming through. He wanted to be very specific about that. I didn't know whose tattoo that was, yours or his, so obviously his. Okay. And of course, he's doing great on the other side. Standing tall, he says. Okay. Next question.
Okay.
Were we on Carolyn? No, we weren't.
Did you answer her romantic treats? You finished that, right?
Yes.
So the next question is Nancy.
Do you want a selection of several names?
Yes.
Oh, I thought we were doing the
we're doing the express line first.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Sorry. Sorry.
I would this is Nancy. I would love some insight on my granddaughter Harper, who's 3, a past life that she has, and what I can help her with in
That's going to go in
life.
my water. You spray that.
Do you have to actually tell me that?
Yeah, because it was going. If I didn't put my hand like that, that would go right in my water.
That to me, just put your hand on it.
But don't do it.
I'm going to do it.
Okay, what is it again? Harper?
Yeah, her granddaughter Harper is 3. Does she have a past life that's relevant? And what can I help her with in this life to be her best?
I had a question for you. And who's the person asking the question?
Nancy.
Nancy. Does she like to, she's 3 years old. Does she like to hang on your arm? I'm going to tell you why. She should definitely get into gymnastics, this kid. The past life that I see was almost looks to me what I will just call Amazonian. That could be Mayan, Aztec, Inca, or any of the other tribes whose names I don't know, but it's that whole vibe. And it was all about climbing those trees. It was all about, she was very acrobatic in that lifetime. Male, by the way. I'm asking Red Eagle, who's my spirit guide, if you were there. Does the name Jordan mean anything to you? Whoever that name is, Jordan, maybe she's going to meet this person. That person was there in that lifetime. Let me see what you can help her with. Look, you're going to be there for her to believe in herself. That's for sure. You will be the calming energy in her life. And you already are. All kids loved soft, plushy things. But still, I have to say, soft, plushy things should never go out of style with this kid, even when she's 9 or 10 or 12 or 26. Another thing is, she is not here to just gather information. She is here, meaning in terms of technical knowledge. It's fine with some parents are teaching their kids, you know, arithmetic at 3 or 4 or 5. That's fine. But I don't feel it's for this kid.
That she was going to join gymnastics.
Perfect. She's going to be great and she should do it. And you should go when you can and just watch. You don't need to cheer her on. She doesn't need cheering. Don't like cheer if she does something good in gymnastics. You can smile and just nod your head, or you can just talk to her about it. Not too much of the praise. She doesn't need that as much as one might think, or one might want to, because of course you get joyous and happy when you see them do something that makes you happy, right? So that's what I would say for her right now. But that was a life, and she was, that's coming through in the physicality of this lifetime, was that tribal life. How interesting. It's so interesting how we choose to come back. Sometimes it's very similar lifetimes in a row, and then we jump to the opposite of what we were in the past life. Okay.
Melody said that he did call her Mel.
He did call her Mel.
And that it was like a difficult relationship, and she's still getting over that.
I want to say, Melody, you were part of some things that he needed to. It was a clearing karma, and what that you're working out still. That's fine. That's a gift from your spirit guides. That's your divine purpose. It's not about somebody did something, and so you have to, you know, you wish it had never happened, or that was just a rough relationship. No, he's a soul mate, soul friend from other lifetimes that came here to awaken something in you, and so that you can get to the next level of yourself. So whatever he did or didn't do, it was the universe working through him to get you to become who you're here to be.
By the way, I just picked up and noticed something. I picked up on something and noticed something. So you guys, my empathic questions that you're asking me are free. We didn't discuss that.
Just a psychic question.
We just assumed you figured it out. No, you can ask me questions and it's free. It's only with Riz that you're paying for psychic questions.
And my psychic questions are free also. It's just we have a front of the line little system as well. Okay.
So there are some people that are having some sleep issues.
Yeah.
But do you want to take somebody else on?
I'll take one more. I'll take a question, then you can talk about sleep a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Christine, this is another super chat. She would like to have a past life reading.
Christine, just direct your energy towards me, please. You lived at the top of a mountain is the first thing that I'm seeing. Now, mind you, before I go into this, guys, when I do a past life reading, it is because my guides are telling me that that's the lifetime that is important to discuss, or that's the lifetime that is relevant at this moment. Because you've been many, many things. I'm not going to see all your past lives. I'm only supposed to know what I'm supposed to know, receive what I'm supposed to receive. Remember that, guys. For those of you who are developing your psychic gifts, you are not here to know everything. Oh, I see these people. I almost said clowns, but I do think they're clowns because they troll psychics online. How come they don't know the disaster events? How come they don't know who's president? How come they don't go to Vegas? That is not an understanding of what psychic energy is. Everyone is psychic to some degree. No one on earth is here to know all events that are going to happen, because then there would be no purpose on earth. There are a lot of psychics on planet Earth worldwide, and some good ones. And so when I get a message, it's only what I'm supposed to know, only what you're supposed to know, only what she's supposed to know. And that's what moves us forward socially. That's the way it works. It's not here because you need to know the lottery numbers, or you're here to try to win in Vegas, or you were supposed to know that the fires in Malibu were going to happen. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it does come. But, people who don't believe in psychics, they don't care about that stuff. And so that's why most psychics don't care about it anyway. I don't think those worlds are ever going to meet. But going back to this past life, so top of a mountain, I just want to get very clear where this is. China. I'm not very well versed on the geography of China, but that's where it is. I know that part of the Himalayas are in China, but this is not the Himalayas. This is somewhere else. This is more where a person where in the valley there's a farm and looking down. Agriculture. I was wondering if you've tried your hand at growing things, or having your own little vegetable garden or something, but you used to do it there. I see rice paddies also. The name Sharon or Cheryl is connected here. She was there in that past life with you.
Are you
also had a question for you? Yeah.
She says, I love that. Thank you. You explained my relationship with her exactly.
No, he's.
Oh.
Right now.
Okay. I don't. That's confusing. Let's stay here. That confuses me when you guys go somewhere else. Okay, so I want to stick to this mountainous life. So I see the rice paddies. I see the name Cheryl or Sharon connected to this. Curious if you have like a birthmark over here on your left arm. Do you have any mark over here on your left arm? Because I see your arm there as mark. Sometimes birthmarks stay. And on the shoulder too. Let's wait for her answer. I'm asking for the karmic lesson. What was this? Was this about patience? So patience was the big, beautiful quality that you had in that lifetime. Here it has been where people have tested your patience, or you have felt like no one was. Where you have had trouble, where people were either too slow to catch up with you, or too fast and careless for you to be able to connect with them. So it was always you have always been trying to find who moves at your pace. And so now in this chapter of your life, number one, it would be good for you to connect more with the plant kingdom, growing things, or visiting farms, or even if you can, living in the mountains for, at least a weekend. If not, I would say go for a few weeks.
Yes to the birthmark on her left side.
She said yes to the birthmark on her left side. Yeah, great. So that was you. Awesome. Thanks for sharing your past life with me. It's nice to see these visions. You were saying something.
About?
You read something about the relationship.
Christine?
That was Nancy. When you were talking about her granddaughter.
Oh,
she said
okay.
You described that relationship exactly.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
So
you
were gonna
sleep and dream.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna squish like 4 or 5 of you guys together, because I got a bunch of questions regarding the nervous system, sleeping, tension in the body. I'm just gonna handle it all at once. So it sounds like this is a lot of planetary and frequency and sun. What is it called? Emanations?
Emanations, fine. That works.
Okay.
Ruminations, jubilations.
So something in particular that's really interesting, and no one's ever talked about this before, is I think her name was Audrey. I don't know. She had an interesting handle. Okay, so she said that her tongue feels like a little. Can you look it up? Each scroll back like 2 or 3 scrolls. I think she said that her tongue feels a little bit like
Let me see if I can
like it's
find it.
buzzing or something, and it has like a little tension, and that she feels like she has tension in her body. Other people are waking up and hearing ringing in their ears.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was Tanya.
Tanya,
Her
and then
handle's
there-
Ghosty.
Ghosty, and her name is, I think, Audrey.
Tanya
something.
is her name. Her
Tanya,
name is
Tanya. Okay. And sleep issues, sleeping 5 or 6 hours a night. You guys, listen, I'm just going to tell you right now, these planets and the sun and all the other suns and all the other solar systems all emanate massive vibrational frequencies, as we know, which is a
Raised.
whole nother
Yeah.
show
Mhm.
that we could talk about that for 100 hours and channel it, and you can channel on that. Like, that's a major topic. It affects us. It absolutely affects us. We're made of what, 90% water. We're very affected by frequency changes and adjustments that are happening in the solar system, planetary wise, and also all the magnetic frequencies that are happening in our own planet. In the core of our Earth, our crystals are magnetizing and sending signals off as well, and receiving signals from other planets, and they're communicating. There's vibrations flying through the air at all times. When you become sensitive, you start to feel them, and it's going to freak you out in the beginning. I'm still not 100% casual with it yet. I respect it a lot because I feel it all the time. And I have to distinguish which are like my physical body sensations, so like hormones or what I ate, or, you know, my own emotions, from simply neutral vibratory experiences in the body, which does show up in, like, my tongue does have that vibration feeling sometimes. And I think it's because it's connected to the back of my skull, which is connected to the nervous system. And that right there is where it goes down into your root chakra. Because I've had MRIs and I've had my C1 and C2 x-rayed, and I know that there's no actual damage there. But I also know my tongue doesn't do it all the time, but it does have that feeling. And that feeling happens because it's not just my tongue. I feel it in my whole body. You're just starting to isolate it. You're starting to be able to see it there. As far as the ringing in the ears, that's because your body is made of electricity as well. It runs on electrical current. I think we actually have a charge, like a battery. If they have like a certain amount of wattage, that they have found that humans, it's a low wattage, but it's electricity running through us. And so
we're also conductors, right?
We're conductors. We receive information from every dimension. So like Riz did this, he's done awesome meditations, and we've talked about this numerous times, where if you say your mother, if you imagine your mother saying your name in your head right now, imagine your mother saying your name, calling your name, and you hear it. So you hear her voice and you hear her sound, but what are you listening from? So your body, your mind recorded it, but how are you listening to it? So
right, because it's very
your
different.
inner
You're
ear.
not tasting it. You're not seeing it. You're not smelling it. You're not touching it. You are distinctly hearing
Right.
the sound,
Right.
whether it's your favorite song or whether it's your mother saying your name. So someone might argue, but I'm just remembering the sound. Right, but you're still
Auditory.
hearing it.
So if
It's
you want to get
auditory.
very technical,
But you're not using your ears.
It's an auditory file. So let's get very technical. You recorded it like a computer in an auditory. So like on your computer, it's an MP3. So on your brain, you recorded it in an auditory format, just like you have when you have your olfactory format. So when you smell and you have distinctive memories and smell, that's its own file. And when you smell a smell that reminds you of your grandmother, there's a bunch of memories that unfold that come with that smell, and it's very visceral. And so it's the same thing. So you have there's other dimensions, and there's other realities that we are not privy to, that we can't see with our physical eyes, that are recording, feeling, giving us feedback and information. We're hearing things we can see with our inner ear, our inner eye. That's where the third eye comes from, that phrase that you guys have probably heard. And so that's because we're seeing from an inner place and seeing from inner eyes, and we're also listening from an inner ear. And that's the beginning of learning how to connect to your guides. And when you want to hear your guides speak to you, and like we do, and we listen, you have to practice and learn how to get your inner ear sensitive and you have to silence your mind. But that tuning, that little high pitch, like yesterday we were watching TV and all of a sudden it was like, just like on the computer, this whole ear shut off. And I heard all the sound just go to this ear. And then I heard like it was moving around, like there was adjustments, and then it went back, and then both ears opened up again. And it's not plugged or anything. It's just the ears are adjusting their frequency. They're doing it, their natural adjustment. And also you're becoming more attuned to your physical body. When we were growing up as Gen Xers, we went to our public school, we learned certain information, we had some books, encyclopedias, MTV, we had certain pieces of information, but basically we did not know anything about what was going on in our bodies. We didn't even drink water. I don't even know how we survived.
I don't think I drank water till I was 30.
Do you know, I don't understand the phenomenon of drinking water since it was not a thing at all growing up.
It wasn't a thing growing up.
Nobody talked about it. Nobody cared. You drank from the hose. You once in a while got a glass.
Pepsi was mostly water.
I don't know if you had a mom like mine, but if I dirtied a glass with water, she would get mad at me.
What do you mean dirty to glass? Well,
That's
like if you
what we
use the
call-
glass for water.
Well, we say dirty to glass because, you know, that's how kids talked in my hood. You dirty to glass. So the thing is, my mom, if I came running in the house all hot and sweaty from playing outside and I wanted to get a clean glass out of the cupboard and put it in the sink to drink, she'd look at me like I was crazy because that's how bad it was. Like, you just are supposed to, you're rugrats, you're out there in the street. So we drank from hoses. You know, we were lucky we had like sugar drinks and Kool-Aid, and we had all that like soda and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which made us all very grouchy Gen Xers, right?
We're never grouchy. What do you mean?
There's a lot of really grouchy, uptight Gen Xers.
Are there really?
They kind of give us a bad name.
I never thought
We
that.
gotta have a sit down talk with them. But the phenomenon of water was relatively, like, I think it came in the 90s when they started bottling it, and it was the strangest thing. And I was like, why do I need to carry around water? It's so odd. Now we're carrying around water and a phone.
Yeah.
And you can't leave the house with either one of them now, which is crazy. Before,
Without either one of them.
you never had water and you never had a phone. You just left the house.
I didn't
with
have
your wallet.
water and I didn't have a phone.
Your hands are always open.
Right.
and
When I
free.
leave the house, I have my phone and I got my water.
And you didn't need a backpack to put all your stuff in.
I didn't.
You were just free.
If you had pockets, you was
Yeah.
like, oh, this jacket has 2-3 pockets.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Wild. I got
Anyway.
a spirit shout out
Great.
coming through.
let me
Sure.
see if I'm wrapping this up properly just before I move on. So, and I segued off into the water conversation. So that's what you're feeling, you guys. That is what you're feeling. You're feeling a lot. There's a lot of things that go into having these anxieties, but there's ways to settle down. There's ways to relax. And in the case of sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night, in the early days, you have to retrain your body before you can just like start meditating and shutting off the electronics, which is stuff that you should do anyway. But you should start taking like valerian root or something like B12 or something that's going to help you to calm down and to sleep. Some ashwagandha, different things like that to just relax, chamomile tea, any kind of a sleep aid until I think you have to train your body. Don't you feel like you have to train your body how to sleep? Like we have to train
I think you have to
our body.
retrain your body.
Yeah. Because
we lose it because of whatever the work
schedule is. You get bad
schedule is.
habits, and then your mind takes over, and then you have that 4 a.m. wake up when your brain turns on and tells you it's time to get up.
Absolutely. There was a great channeler by the name of Jane Roberts who channeled Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And this was that Seth had said, the spirit guide Seth had said, our entire system of how we split the 24 hours is completely, I would say, it lacks efficiency and benefits for the human body and the spirit and the mind, because the way we're splitting 24 hours is basically we're up for 16 hours and then we try to sleep for 8. And
Don't you think that's hard on the body to sleep?
well,
for
it's
8?
clearly because you lose focus just after 6 hours. You
Yeah.
start your attention span starts to weaken after 6 hours. So we
laying
need
down-
to nap. We need
Yeah.
to we need to change the way that our whole society has been set up, where it is to basically grind you into the ground
Mm-hmm.
and treat you like a machine. But if we were really to understand our natural rhythms, You know, I actually had said
Latin countries like Spain and those countries,
they understand that you need a
the
siesta, and they live longer and they're happier and they're in a better mood. And this is all just to create us to be part of this rat race. But since we can't seem to change the entire system while we're alive, you have to design your life. You have to kind of empower yourself somehow. Listen, there's ways to do it, and you figure it out. You're an intelligent being where you're the quality of your life. You need to be able to have time during the week, not just on the weekends. You have to have time in the middle of the week that's just for you, even if it's just 2 hours where no one can call you, no one can get a hold of you. You're just doing something for you, and allow that to regenerate you. It doesn't make sense to grind yourself into the ground for 5 days and then you spend half of the weekend just recovering, and then whatever's left, you try to have fun.
Yeah.
So a lot of the messages that the spirit guides have been about how we need to eventually evolve into another lifestyle that keeps us, because people ask the spirit guides all the time, how do I live longer?
Right.
And they say, well, this is an evolutionary process that's going to happen where you realize, and I see it happening with Gen Z, and that's why Gen Z is fighting for a smaller work week. And they get this bad rap that, oh, they're lazy. Well, every generation has been called lazy by the previous one, but they're fighting for something because they're saying that, look, it's grinding you guys into the ground. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, because you're dying young.
And you're getting sick and degenerative diseases, right? Okay, let me go to the next person that I have a spirit shout out for. So there's a flower. Maybe you guys can help me with this. I don't know what this flower is. It's purple, and it has these long petals, and inside there's an orange stem that sticks out.
Oh,
An
iris.
So either this person's name is Iris or your name is Iris, or this was their symbol, or maybe there was a painting of this that they left, or a symbol, some sort of image of this, but they're showing me the iris, and they're on the other side and they want to give a message to you. So if that's you, please let us know. One more spirit shout out, the date of January 29th. They just corrected me. 29th, January 29th is either birthday or anniversary, or the passing date of your loved one who's on the other side, January 29th. Let me know if that connects to you. Okay, we got some super chats?
We do have another super chat.
All right, let's go for it.
This is from Bernadette.
Okay.
Any messages from my bio dad, Nerva, and adopted mom, Roxanne? I don't know what to say to them. They cause me a lot of pain, but I'm willing to hear whatever they have to say for me.
They're both crossed?
Yes.
And the names, say the names again?
Nerva. And Roxanne.
Nerva is the gentleman's name?
Yes.
Okay. And Roxanne is the bio mom?
The adopted mother.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter if she's bio or adopted. It's just the person's name is what I vibrate with. So as I'm asking this question, Bernadette, my spirit guide Red Eagle comes in and connects me to what is the message you're supposed to get about this, while I'm waiting to see if they drop in. Remember something, guys, mediums can't make anyone come through. It is, we put it out there, and if the universe sees fit, if the spirit guides see fit, and if the spirit guides of the person who's crossed over sees fit, then the communication is facilitated and activated. So I'm waiting for that. But in the meantime, I can talk to Red Eagle mentally. That's what I do, and ask he says the whole thing is about Nerva, actually. And the qualities that you have, Bernadette, that rebel in you, it had to come from somewhere, and it comes from him. And your strength, that innate sense of strength that you have, that warrior spirit in you, comes from him and his lineage. And that's coming from Red Eagle. So you need to know that. Yeah, that's how you were going to benefit from it. He wasn't a good protector for you in this lifetime in that way. He was an activator to give you the fuel that you needed, it's almost like giving you the paint, the palette to dip your creative and spiritual brushes into. And yeah, there's blood, sweat, and tears in that too, and there's pain in that, but it had to happen that way because if you're supposed to be impactful, Bernadette, then you have to have a connection with your real raw emotions, and that's why Nerva had to be part of this. So the past life relationship that you had with him was one of teacher and student. So the roles are reversed, meaning that the teacher comes back and affects your life in a different way. So it wasn't a blood relation that I see in that past life, but I see that the energy had to be, well, this time you're going to learn about what it's supposed to, and you chose it to feel like unsupported out here on your own. But that's only one stage of your evolution. So you're just stepping out of that. All the work that you're doing is to step out of that. And once you do that, smooth sailing, green lights all the way and everything you want to do. Knowing that they are divine partners in your evolution, not people who did you wrong and then it ends there. Okay. Yes, Erica.
So for the spirit shout out,
January
29th.
Yes.
Julie's parents are on the other side, Jane and Carl, and that's their wedding anniversary.
There you go. Thank you. So they're both on the other side, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. It was the male figure coming through with that, by the way. Isn't that amazing that they know that you're watching and they're both on the other side? I always find that amazing since we started Psychic Sundays. And you know, I've been doing this 20 years. Professionally, personally, I've been giving readings since I was 7. And it still amazes me that during a live broadcast, they come through with a specific piece of information like that. And I said birthday or anniversary. That's what I said. In fact, that was the first thing I said. If you scroll back, I said birthday or anniversary. Well, they're pals, and like it's almost like those pictures where people put their arms around each other and like went into a selfie. It's kind of like that energy coming through. They are basically having a picnic at a lake. That's what it looks like to me. Everybody gets to, you get to enjoy yourself on the other side while you're doing your spiritual growth. Yes, you continue to do your spiritual growth on the other side. That's right. There's no such thing as heaven where you get all the rewards. That's the most boring, insane concept I've ever heard of. You can barely be on vacation and get everything that you want and love your entire time on the vacation. And after a while, you'll hate it. I always give this example. Imagine being at the most amazing resort you've ever been to. They cater to your every need and desire. And then it's time to go home and all your flights have been canceled. And the resort says, well, we'll give you can stay here for the next week for free. We understand there's a big storm and don't worry, you can stay at the resort. And okay, you're like, okay, cool, we'll stay at the resort. And then what happens after a week if you can't get back home? The resort will start to look like a prison to you. Mm-hmm. Man, would you like another pina colada? No, I don't want another pina colada. Like you will start to go crazy.
There was a question that came in regarding one of your readings that you just did. So the question was, why did only one person come in but not the other one? Maybe she doesn't care about me. And I want to address that.
That's an interesting question. Somebody asked, why don't they care about you?
No, she says she doesn't care about me. That's probably why.
So
I want to let you guys know from my experience of watching Riz do psychic mediumship and being a part of this conversation in depth for many years. When somebody doesn't come through, it doesn't mean they still have that connection to you and they're thinking about you like they did when you guys were here together on the planet. Because when they go to the other side, they're also very in tune and dealing with all their other past lives and dealing with their own like growth pattern. So like, for instance, when my dad crossed over, he came in to say hello to me when Riz and I first met, and Riz gave me some readings from him. And then he went radio silent for about 6 months. And that was because, and the guides told me what he was doing. He was in class. He was doing evolutionary studies for his own soul growth, reviewing his life path, reviewing his life lessons, and very busy. He's not at the party. He's not available for communication in the telephone booth. So he is in class. So when my dad was done with that, he came to talk to me, and he sounded like a different person. He had different things to say. He was more evolved. He cleared a lot of whatever his karma and things that he had to clear. So if one of your loved ones doesn't come through, it's not personal. It doesn't mean something that's going on between you and them in this earth life. It's they're dealing with their own schooling and their own evolution.
Yeah,
their own
I do
education.
feel. Yeah, it's one of the hardest things to accept. Is like, if you never even knew that person, or they abandoned you, and you feel like they don't care, and why would they care? They just gave physical birth to you. Then you're losing the entire perspective on what you think existence is. If you think your existence is people gave birth to you, and they're supposed to be, a mom's supposed to be a mom, a dad's supposed to be a dad, a brother's supposed to be a brother, a sister's supposed to be a sister, the world is supposed to be this, and if those things don't work, then I'm basically screwed for my life and have to work it out.
Can you slow down and say that again?
I'm going to.
Because everybody needs to hear what he just said.
Your life is not... this, and listen, I'm speaking from experience and also a logical spiritual perspective. The logical spiritual perspective is that your
brother
purpose
is not supposed to be your brother. Your brother, the way you said it, I want to repeat.
It's just that
I'll repeat it for you. This is so important. You guys hear this. You guys have it set up that your brother is supposed to act like a brother, sister is supposed to act like a sister, mother is supposed to act like a mother, father is supposed to act like a father. From wherever you got that information from, whatever programming you got that information from, you put and project that template on them. And then they need to show up for you to fulfill that role they have unknowingly was born into. Imagine if tables were turned, that was happening to you. So you're supposed to act like the daughter. You're supposed to act like the son. You're supposed to act like the brother. You're supposed to act like the sister. And if you're not doing it the way that they think you're supposed to do it, you're in trouble.
And so what happens is you begin to lose sight of why you're even on Earth. You start to forget what Earth is about. That this is a school. Clearly, it's a school, guys. Earth is a school. It's only about a school of love and creation and oneness. Therefore, oneness. When you don't feel at one with your environment or at one with yourself, life feels bad. When you do, life feels good. And so all of your lessons about creation and love are about how you can feel more oneness. Bottom line. And so I have come to learn that life on Earth is not about checking boxes. I got the partner, I got the this, I got the that, I got the I got. Because eventually you'll find you're trading one anxiety for another. You start off with an anxiety of trying to get what you want. And you will go through all the hurdles and obstacles and ups and downs and dark nights of the soul to get what you want. And then by some stroke of luck, miracle, or you muscled your way there, or was divine destiny, you do get what you want somehow. And then you enjoy it for about 3 seconds, because very quickly you will start to use your energy to see how long this will last, or how can you hold on to this.
And it has to be just right and just perfect, exactly the way it's supposed to be, the way it showed up. If it changes, if it modifies, if there's a surprise, if it changes its perspective, or like if you're talking about a human being and they do something you don't want them to do, it's over.
Yeah. So you begin to just live this anxiety to anxiety life. And so what I would say to you is that a lot of people don't want to look at that perspective on life, that, okay, so basically I shouldn't expect anything from anyone, and I don't care, a mom's supposed to love you a particular way, or a dad's supposed to love you a particular way. You can hold on to that if you want, but I can guarantee you there's no cheese at the end of that tunnel. There is cheese at the end of the tunnel, I'm telling you, which is that you expand into understanding that you incarnate onto planet Earth to expand your consciousness. That is a reason why you come to Earth, to expand your consciousness, not to get what you want. Those are just to keep you here, because most people don't want to expand their consciousness. So, the universe has a mercy on you. Like, okay, try to expand your consciousness through manifestation and survival and dealing with people who are not like you. And so you get in that's the true rat race, is that you go into separation. Separation is the true rat race. Oneness is the true freedom. So you can just kind of flippantly say, well, they don't care about me, that's why they're not coming through. No, it could be that that's actually your best friend. That's your greatest soulmate who's not coming through in this reading because your purpose, their divine contract with you is, no, you have to figure out who it is that you are. You have to get past your sadness, your trauma, your pain, your regret, your isolation, your numbness, your stagnation, resistance, and tension. And you're supposed to break free, serve yourself, serve others, and celebrate your life. And then when you die, you will meet them on the other side, and you will know so many things instantly. You have so many revelations instantly on the other side that when you do see that person that right now you have this problem with, there will be such a soul knowing. You're not going to be the person that you were here on the planet. That consciousness is going to be gone because you'll be expanded. You'll be in the fullness of your being. You'll be without the form and almost container of this physical body. You'll be much more expanded, and you will get all the karmic lessons immediately just by that one connection. And they're just going to nod, and your energies are going to embrace. That's what happens, guys.
If you missed any of that, rewind it after we're done so you can really understand the core of that, of what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any shout out, spirit shout out to that Iris thing?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
this was one of those, like, it's kind of a twofer situation.
Is there a name?
With the, so Allie, her son Nick passed on January 29th, 2006. And her screensaver on her phone is a purple iris.
Thank you. That's the one.
She said you've actually given messages from him in the past, but she'd always welcome anything new.
Well, he's just came through this with this energy of this purple iris, and that date was coming through as well. Oftentimes when I do get a date, it'll land for more than one person in a very potent way. Clearly losing him is a quote unquote losing him because you haven't lost him. This is that energy coming through, but he knows about the purple iris, and I described it to you, right? It's purple with that little orange stem in the middle. Listen, it's not that you can't ever change it. You can change your wallpaper on your phone. It's just that he's just recognizing it. Okay. Such a vibrant, loving energy of a hello to you. Okay. He's with you.
So you sparked a bunch of little side conversations here with that brilliant, wonderful dissertation that you just had, and some people need notes and breakdowns of what you said.
Sure.
But what I want to let people know is that, in a nutshell, if you want to make it really simple for yourself, everything is for you, and if that is your new, upgraded, new program, new belief system to say everything is for me that happens to me, everything is for me. That puts you in the driver's seat and gives you an opportunity to adjust and tweak what you need to adjust and tweak in your life, because you are at the cause and you are the source creator of your life, not a victim to your life. Your parents show up exactly the way you created them to show up, because let me tell you,
the way you asked them to show up.
Not only the way you asked them to show up before you came to the planet, but on top of that, your perspectives, perception, and your template and your rules that you place on them, on how they are supposed to show up.
Right, that's the should.
For you, right? If you change that perspective and find what they brought to you, even if they were the worst parents in the world and you get 100 people to agree with you, you still will find the benefits, the glory, the beauty, and the joy, the awesomeness of what you got from that. So everything that my parents did that were, like, in my book, just outrageous and I hated, to this day, I am who I am today. I am the parent I am today. I'm the wife I am today. I am the friend I am today. I am the artist I am today. I am everything I am today because they were the way they were. And that is how I designed it, as a conscious, intelligent soul. Because we're not little ants running around the anthill. We're advanced beings, and we are waking up to that fact. So the more you understand that we created our parents to be the way they are, and we are in control of how we perceive them. And this takes time. It takes, like, grace. You have to have a lot of grace with yourself and take it easy, compassion, gentle with yourself. Don't be so hard with a whip, cracking a whip, breaking your own back over this topic, because guess who suffers? Who's the one suffering? And we're trying to get out of suffering, right? So how do we get out of suffering? Is we get to the root of the cause of the problem, go to the cause, and the cause is number one, your perspective. It's always going to start there. What are you saying about the situation? How are you perceiving them? What are you bringing to the table? So if you, like Bernadette, you're a great student teacher here with us, and it's great. And I like using you as an example. You've been with us from the beginning. It's great because you showcase a lot of questions that people have. And so one of the questions that you said is that, like, you forgive your parents. Do you forgive your parents?
I'm past forgiving them. I thank them for what they didn't do.
You're in class. Hand over the phone.
I was checking something about that I wanted to talk to you guys about.
Okay, so you don't need to forgive anybody, you guys. Because if you find out that if it's for you and you benefited from it by being who you are today, means that you need to have more grace for yourself and more love for who you are today. It goes back to you again. And so therefore, there's no one to forgive. The only person, if you want to forgive someone, forgive yourself. That is the only person that you should be forgiving, because you're the creator of how you perceive and see.
But most people don't know. When you say that, most people go, forgive myself for what? They did stuff to me. I didn't do anything. Well, I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I forgive myself?
If you were paying attention to the class, I just broke the whole thing down.
Well, but I get it. But what I'm saying is that anytime you say, and I notice that
stubborn kids in the back of the class.
Well, I'm talking about.
Go ahead and talk to them.
When people hear the words "forgive yourself," their inner consciousness or their inner child goes, "Forgive myself for what? I didn't do anything. Who did I hurt?"
Yeah. Tell them.
I don't know, because I never use the forgive myself thing.
Explain why.
For me, it's
explain
why. Well, here's why.
The kid version of you, but
explain
the
why
of you now.
But forgive yourself for what?
Who held on to stories that caused you pain, like who kept hurting your
stories that caused me pain. See, you don't even feel the impact of that.
Because it's not a strong word. Forgiveness is it's a paper thin word. If
that's what I'm talking about.
Forgiveness has no weight. Forgiveness has no energy. Look how hard it is. I forgive them. Okay, well, you have to repeat that 50 million times to make it even matter. And by the way, you forgive them for what? Judging them? No. You're not forgiving.
How do you forgive yourself? I think if you forgive yourself when someone feels that they actually did something.
Let me repeat. I said, if you want to forgive someone because you're attached to the word and you need to have the word forgiveness in your life because you love the word and people programmed you to say the word forgiveness through religion, whatnot, whatever. You love the word forgiveness. You won't give it up. And I know people who will fight to the bitter end to use the word forgiveness. So keep your word. But I'm going to tell you something. It takes a lot of work to keep any energy around that word. That word has no weight. It has.
Well, it's disconnected from the reason of why something happened. It's disconnected from why did this thing actually occur. What I'm saying is that
you're judging the person.
Yeah.
In front of you.
Yeah. And
nobody takes it that far. I forgive them for doing this. I don't forgive anybody. I know why it happened. I take full accountability and responsibility for exactly what I did, how I did it, the way I did it, in every level, in every dimension, for my own sanity.
What do you mean by you don't forgive anyone?
I don't need to.
Right, because you don't feel that they did anything to you.
Not at all.
Yeah. Right.
I'm living my life for myself. I'm not living any other. What is this? A cartoon? Like, no. It seems so fake. It seems like a cartoon when you talk about forgiveness. It's like, what are you talking about?
Well, I've seen, I'll tell you something where I've watched some pretty dramatic forgivings. Like on the internet, I saw that this guy was in court because he murdered this other kid. They're both like 17.
Oh, from a political position. Yeah.
From a political position is the only place it makes sense.
The only place
is in the legal system.
In the legal system, yeah. I agree.
But on a personal,
on a personal level.
So the story was that this kid killed this other kid. And so the mother, and another video I saw was the father who was in the courtroom and gave the statement to that 17-year-old, I forgive you, and went over and hugged him. And I've seen videos where people jump the little barrier and try to kill that person. So what they're doing is they're saying that for them, that in the legal sense, that they're forgiving that person.
So let's break that down.
For that death.
Let's break that down. They're releasing the constraints of their own anger, judgment, and pain
towards
the other person.
For the causation of their grief.
Creating a peaceful boundary, or binding, I should say. So now they're coming together in oneness, right? Now, here's the thing. That is the only place that I would say it works.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere else, when you say, I forgive my parents for what they didn't know, if that gives you peace, then say that. The thing I see, the problem with this statement, I'm going to tell you the problem with this statement, being shamans for 2 decades,
Yes.
you guys, I'm going to tell you what I've seen with thousands of people, is it never sticks. Don't lie to yourself. You guys know what I'm talking about, because guess what, Bernadette? You've been trying to forgive your parents for 40 freaking years, okay?
And
Even
she's
if you
only
say-
28.
telling
That's a
you.
really long time.
Even if you say you forgive them and you mean it, that underneath that, you're still saying they did something wrong.
Right.
That
Correct.
should have never happened.
You're still coming from a victim mentality. You're still coming from that you didn't co-create this. You're still coming from that you're not source in the matter. You're still coming that
Right.
you as a conscious being did not create your parents to be who they are. Which, if you follow the thread, what you're actually saying to yourself is that I don't like who I am today. I don't accept who I am today. I don't like the way I am. I judge people. I judge myself, and I am not at peace with myself. And therefore, I'm going to work on forgiveness, because I think that's the softer, easier way to get out of this. No, sister.
It's an ego trap.
It is not.
It's an ego trap.
It
It's your
is-
ego that wants to demand forgiveness. If they have anything to say
Yeah.
to me, they got anything to say to me, I'm listening. Excuse me. You asked them to be what they are. You asked them to do or not do what they did or didn't do to you.
This
You
is-
asked them.
You know, it's a rude awakening for those of you who are new to this conversation. And for those old timers, let us know in the chats. We want to know if you already know about this. But for those of you who this is relatively new, this concept,
Yeah.
let me tell you, it feels like a rug burn.
Well, I'll tell you
It
my own
doesn't feel
story.
good to hear
Let me
these-
tell you
to
something.
hear
When
this reality.
one of the biggest pains of my life was when my brother died. And let me tell you, when I have a conversation with him, okay, that was the most devastating death that happened around me, was to lose him, quote unquote. But my conversation is, I asked for that to occur, and he granted me this opportunity. By the way, if he hadn't died, I wouldn't be here today doing what I'm doing. Now, some people would say, I'd rather have my brother than doing what I'm doing. There was a time in my life where I was like, I'd rather have my brother than do any of this work.
How selfless and how loving of your brother. So many hundreds
Powerful
and
soul.
thousands of people have
Powerful soul, a
spoke-
guru to me that made a contract with me that, listen, I'm going to be like your idol growing up, and then I'm going to die suddenly. And it's going to be the biggest grief of your life, but you're going to be becoming a psychic in your mediumship, and you're going to be more who it is that you are. Because I'm good. I don't need more than 40 years on this planet anyway. I'm good. And I'm like, that's the contract. I signed that contract. Now people will say, well, how do you know that's true? How do you know anything's true? All I'm telling you is pick a belief that really has no loopholes and works for you authentically. Because if you don't pick a belief system that works for you, here's how it works for you. You have freedom. And that nothing,
and you know you're
it
not
doesn't
lying to
trigger you.
yourself.
Well,
And you know you're not lying to yourself.
who knows if you're lying to yourself? Or who knows if if
Oh.
anything exists?
You're talking to a Taurus.
Right?
We know when we're lying
maybe
to
the whole
ourselves.
universe is, in Indian culture, it is in the Vedas or the Upanishads or the ancient texts of Hinduism, this entire reality from the furthest that the Hubble telescope can see is all happening on the drop of a water that is sprouting out of the belly on a little geyser of water of a much larger God being. We don't know anything about what is real or what isn't real. Let's not kid ourselves, guys. The mysteries, this is all a mystery. What we are offering to you is how to navigate peacefully in the mystery.
Correct. That's the bottom line.
Let's move on. I mean, we're not moving on. It's all a continuation,
well,
right?
I just want to say
That was
there's-
very powerful what you said.
There's not a moving on, because
Yeah.
this is the conversation and this is what we're all talking about. And all
Is
the
the-
questions,
is-
majority of them, this is the root.
Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
but we will take more questions.
Nobody's got questions about their hamster or anything?
Nope.
Their hamster.
Yeah, their hamster. My hamster Wilbur.
Look,
Any message from my
some of-
hamster?
Some of our episodes we're laughing hysterically. Some of
Yeah,
our
but it's
episodes
good to have this
we're getting in your
talk.
face. Some of our episodes were quiet and relaxed. Some of our episodes were super intense. And that's just called real life. That's just
Word.
called real live, real people.
Any super chat you need me to do?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Abby says, what can I do to keep my psychic abilities on? I've been developing my abilities for 5 years and they go in and out.
They're going to go in and out, Abby. They're not going to always be there. They're meaning that because you're supposed to have a break. If I was psychic all the time in the way that I am right now, it would be pretty difficult to just go to the mall. And I like going to the mall. And I like having public outdoor experiences with energies and spirits in other places. And there are times that I don't feel anything. And it's not because there's no spirits there. It's because I give myself a break to just enjoy. And it's like an athlete. Can I say something that I thought about was, I used to think about this. I used to think about like, okay, let's say that there's these professional figure skaters and they're practicing all day long in the skating rink, which is they practice a lot, right? So they finish practice and they're walking in the parking lot back to their car. Do they ever slip on the ice if it's the parking lot's icy? Or do they like slip on black ice and suddenly they do a pirouette and then open their car door? Like is it in their nature?
Oh, you mean to catch themselves?
Yeah, I wonder about things like that.
The muscle memory,
In the
right?
muscle memory of their core.
Yes.
Of not being able to like slip and fall.
Right. So do they ever slip and fall when they don't see it? Because
so I guess you have to be focused.
like I've always visioned them right, or they have to be
this
totally.
Is where his mind goes.
That's where my mind goes.
When I'm like doing a bunch of technical things.
If you ever see me staring off into space,
thinking about things like this.
Yeah. If you ever see me staring off into space with a half-eaten sandwich in my hand, and I just stop, I'm wondering if professional ice skaters ever slip on ice walking in the parking lot back to their car after practice. Yep. And it's actually true. I do wonder that. So what I'm saying, though, into this very profound wonderings of this mind of mine, is that what gets into your system as not second nature, when people go, oh, it's second nature to me, I go, well, what's first nature?
What is first nature?
It becomes now your instinct, and that's where you become masterful. So with me, my psychicness has become instinctual, but
now
it doesn't mean
put you on the hot seat.
It doesn't
now
mean that I need to.
You, what's my first nature?
No, I just want to finish the thought, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
So for me, it's been. I don't shut it off. It's just that I let it go. I'm not here to constantly identify myself as a psychic.
Although I have to say, she keeps repeating it in her question. She's not looking how to shut it off. She's looking how to turn it on.
Which part?
But the way the question was phrased was like, how do I?
She's
rephrasing it. Okay.
Yes, and saying like she doesn't want to shut it off. How can I get it to turn?
Well, I'm also telling you.
It to like how? Do you advance
that's a great question, because that's about how do I work with a lot of artists who are my clients as a shaman, and they go through these slumps of creativity, and they say, I don't want to go through slumps. And I go, well, creativity is an ebb and flow. But when you're a professional artist, like you just had a hit album, and now the record company wants you to make a second hit album, you've got 2 months to make it. You better dial up some creativity. Like, okay, today you're going to write that song. There's an old saying in the music industry, your first album, you have 10 years to write your first album, and you have 10 days to write your second.
Wow.
So, and that's why the second albums sometimes aren't as good, or they have to buy songs from songwriters. And that's why you have so many songwriters, because no one can really dial up their creativity unless they do some things. And that's why good producers come into making music albums, who are able to bring that out in an artist to get them back to their creativity. I mean, producers have done things like takes the artist and blindfolds them and has them crawl around on all fours trying to find something in a house. They go, what does this have to do with songwriting? It has everything to do with it. It has to do with you feeling your way through the maze. And when you first start writing songs, you are feeling your way through the maze of emotions. And so this is creativity, imagination. Those are also keys to psychicness. And a lot of psychics never talk about this because, I don't know, I mean, they just don't. I do.
One thing they say is meditation.
And I don't believe that meditation is the number one way.
Yeah.
It's meditating
we believe in meditation, but it's not number one for us.
Yeah. It's surrender and fluidity.
And trusting the process.
I was just going to say, you feel like there's an element of trust to it as well. Like you can't force it, but you have to trust.
So specifically for, is it
curiosity.
Abby is her name?
Curiosity.
Specifically for Abby, what I would say is get into your body in things that are more fluid. Learn how to rollerblade, learn how to do some cartwheels, and learn how to do something where you are, all things along those lines. Maybe learn how to surf. These are things where you have to surrender to when you initiate, like a cartwheel, you have to look at it and see yourself doing it, and then there's a forward moving momentum, and then there's called a follow through. And that if you just keep your eyes aligned with where you're supposed to do and you kick over, it will land properly. But there's a great deal of trust in that momentum. So many times when I work with people who want to develop their psychic development, I'm not sitting, first of all, I say no a lot of the time because I have to be with you if you really want to learn. That's why I don't do certification courses. I'll do development courses, but not certification. Nobody can certify you. The universe will certify you. Your clients will certify you.
You guys, we have thought about certifying people so many times, and we just can't bring ourselves to do it.
I can't do it. There's other ways.
It doesn't matter how masterful we are in our skill set.
There's other ways for a psychic to make money. A lot of these psychics,
we get it. We get why it exists, and maybe like
it exists because they want to make money, which is nothing. Yeah, it exists because they want to make money, and that's fine. But there's other ways to make money as a psychic or a shaman where you don't have to certify people. I don't believe in certification of any kind.
That paper's not going to do you guys any good. Listen, you just have to believe in yourself all the way through to the bitter end and to the beautiful end. You cannot lean on a piece of paper that's going to tell you whether or not you know how to do something.
Well, first of all,
like, do you need to be certified?
You could have all the certifications in new age modalities that you want. But let's get up in front of 20 people that you've never seen before and read them. Your certification means nothing.
The best way to give yourself a certification is jump off the deep end and go in and start talking to people and just throw yourself out there and start, like, you hear a name. I mean, Erica has gotten some messages sometimes, and she's not a medium, but she's heard messages from the other side, and she goes, do you know somebody named Adam? And they're like, that's my brother, he died. And so, like, you never know.
Being sensitive physically is really going to help you. I would say that learning how to make pottery will help you, Abby. Take a pottery class and feel, but you do not go into any of these things I'm saying, I'm going to do this so I can become a better psychic. No, you will blow it. You'll save your time and your money and just sit in your room and wait a few years before anything else happens. What you need to do is you're going in there because you want to feel the clay in your hands and it feels good. And you want to see where it leads you. And the clay will guide you. And the roller skates will guide you. And the ocean will guide you. And it's about feeling into that, because all of those energies, the ocean, the momentum, the dance, the melody, the paint, the flow, the clay, all of that is universal energy speaking to you through those physical mediums. And that's why you are a medium. You use the mediums of these things to then enhance your own mediumship. It's mediumship.
And notice he said very earthy things, you guys. Yeah. To be ethereal, you have to be very grounded and earthy. Pay attention. You have to be practical. You have to be on this planet eating, enjoying, loving every single thing Mother Gaia has brought to us. If you neglect or avoid being on the planet to be ethereal, you are never going to be properly ethereal, because it is all encompassing. It is a complete universal experience. It is all together as one. It is not separate. It is not compartmentalized. You are not putting it off to the side over here and you have to go achieve something and become ethereal and psychic. That's not how this works. The more grounded you are, the more broken you are, the more real you are, the more earthy you are, the more you are eating food and drinking things and walking and talking and being a fully encompassed and balanced human being is when you can do the things that we're doing and do the things that you want to do as a psychic, as a healer, as a medium, as a trance channel. The kind of brokenness that you have to have. It is a brokenness. I would agree. A trance channel. Let me tell you, to be a master trance channel at the level Riz is at, and I'm the only one who could really toot his horn. He's not going to toot his own horn, but I will tell you, because he's a master trance channel and channels multiple guides, over 60 guides he's channeled in front of live public audiences for hours at a time, giving personal messages. To be at that level, you have to be so surrendered and so completely at ease with the planet. You have to like things, not like things. It doesn't even matter. You're here. You accept it. So don't run from your life. Don't run from your issues. Don't run from your pain. Don't run from your problems. Don't try to hide in the closet. You don't have to. Use it to paint. Use it to draw. Use it to sing. Use it to dance. Use it to be alive. Let the geyser that Riz was just talking about, let that come through you, guys up through you, through your root chakra, come bursting out of your crown chakra so that you can help others. That's how you do it. Don't be afraid, guys.
So when it comes to being more psychic, it's about that the word is surrendered, right? So when you're doing those things like the pottery or the different things that I mentioned, the rollerblading, it kind of awakens a different sensory experience. Clearly, I mean, it's obvious, right? Because you're feeling clay, but a lot of people don't even feel what they're doing. That's why they're not, when we say that people are not present to their actions, people aren't present even while they're driving. You would think everybody's present. No, that's why we have so many accidents. They're not being present. Okay. So these activities that I'm mentioning, and there are more, can give you, so you're going in there to focus on the experience. And then over time, what I'm telling you are ways where you will have a more authentic psychic ability in all sorts of situations, rather than I need to be in a quiet room meditating all the time. That's just part of your training. So I'm trying to give you these things from afar, and I hope that you feel what I'm saying. Okay. You got any more super chats?
We do.
Okay, let's go for it.
Adam says, I recently met a girl who I really felt was a soulmate or a twin flame. She's moving away, and I'm wondering if I'm supposed to let go or pursue her.
Adam, I'll answer this. Of course, I always answer with two insights. You know, a lot of people want to differentiate between soulmate and twin flame. Just to simplify it, I would say that you have soulmates are many, twin flame is one. And you don't necessarily have to have a twin flame relationship. Twin flame relationships are really to activate you into your higher purpose and I believe, to stay together. I don't believe that it's my twin flame is not going to be my twin flame in this lifetime. I go, well, then it's not just supposed to happen in this lifetime. So sometimes I say to people, when they say they want to call in their twin flame, I go, wouldn't you just like a nice soulmate relationship? Nice and easygoing soulmate relationship. Twin flame, it's intense, but it has the extreme benefits of that intensity. You really are like two halves of one person. Soulmates is not like that. Soulmates it's a different thing. Anyway, that's a side question, side information for you, Adam. Boy, I have to tell you, and I do want to say that when I tune into this connection with this person, it is like all the seasons in one. It's like autumn, winter, spring, summer together. But I feel like this is something that its most powerful time would be later. And what I'm getting is that she needs to experience where she's going right now. And for you to pursue right now would not be wise. I would say stay in the psychic orbit without any grip, any grabbing right now. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes a person needs to see you go, no, I need to be here with you. And I would tell you if I saw that. But what I see here right now is I'm tuning into where this other person's path seems to be. It's like a few light bulbs need to go off in their head. And you have to allow the grace for that growth experience, those growth experiences to happen. And I feel like this connection, if you do it right, can feed you rather than eat you. You don't want this thing to eat at you. You want this to feed you. And so there was this great poet, and he's a spirit guide now. His name is Rumi, R-U-M-I. Look him up. And much of his poetry was about, well, when you read his poetry, many of the times it was like combining God and the person that he loved, his lover, he called, his beloved. And sometimes people read into it like he's only talking about God. And then he would write about, it sounds like he's talking about his lover or the person he's his twin flame. And really it becomes that because your partner represents that divine energy. And his poems are always about, many times, just the separation, and that the separation was an illusion. And then people are like, oh, that's about the separation from God, not the separation from the person. And I go, maybe it is about the separation from the person. So, but his poems are full of joy, and they were almost always about never really being with that person in the 3D. But I'm not saying you don't have to be, but right now is enjoy that etheric, to use the word that Araya used, was the ethereal energy here, and that etheric connection, and allow. This will be better for you long-term, to allow and to just be a loving support without any demands romantically right now.
I was very busy on the chat, so I didn't have a chance to really jump into what you were saying, but Christina said, I love Rumi. Were you talking about Rumi?
Yes.
I did. I missed.
But here's something, you said something psychic, but by the way, you said something psychic very quickly in the middle of everything, and Adam, pay attention. Araya was saying about Erica.
Oh, Adam said, so let her go do her thing and see if we come back to each other.
Adam, I don't want you to simplify it like that, Adam. I want you to use like the cool psychic spiritual language that I'm using, which is you allow with grace for her to experience her growth experiences. That's how I want you to think about it in your mind, because this is not just somebody to date. This is a real thing, okay? But allow it for yourself. You can't stop it. I'm saying allow yourself for this to happen, and stay in contact, and just kind of be there while she experiences life. You can be there on the phone, you can be there in text, not too much communication, but when you do communicate, you're present.
You were going to say something.
I was saying that when you were talking earlier, you were saying a lot of different stuff, but in the middle of it, you said that when Erica gets a message sometimes, Erica will be like, who's Adam? Well, that was the name of the guy that I just gave a message to. How interesting. All right. Let's take a couple of non-super chat. Let's take a couple of non-super chat readings.
Hold on. I want to talk. I like holding your hand. We hold hands all day long, you guys. And
yeah, we do.
We don't do it a lot on the podcast for unknown reasons. So I just wanted to say about Rumi. Anytime the name Rumi is brought up in my presence, I have to say my little piece. And I always say the same thing because I have to. So I haven't read all of Rumi's ruminations and all of his poetry, but I will tell you, when I started reading Rumi, I was in the early stages of my awakening, and I have never read or heard poems or language posed in the way it was written, other than the way Rumi writes it.
Right.
So basically, he writes, in my opinion, that he's writing to himself as he's the lover of himself.
Oh, really?
That's my interpretation.
Interesting.
And also he sees himself as God in the universe. And he's showing love, and he's writing a love letter to God in the universe as himself too. Like it's one big circular love fest.
Interesting.
That's my perspective.
That's like that. To know God is to know yourself.
Yeah.
To know yourself is to know God.
Okay, you want some questions?
Yeah. We don't have to do, let's do a couple that are not super chat questions.
We're done with the super chat.
Okay, great. Let's go for it.
So, let's see. There's Carla.
Let's go for it.
My daughter hears messages about things that end up happening.
Oh, wow.
They're like whispers. She would like to know if it's a guide or an ancestor.
Let me tune in. What's her name, though? I need to know the daughter's name.
Pickle. BRB. How
Next
about
question.
Lena? I would like to know how my cat Ira is doing on the other side.
I'm asking Red Eagle because Red Eagle connects me a lot of time too, Pat. So I'm asking for a message about this. The message that I'm getting is actually about when your cat visits you in the spirit form. Did you change the setup in your bedroom since your cat passed? And did this cat jump up on the dresser? Because that's what she's doing now. It's whatever's on the left side of the bed against the wall. That's where her energy is. I'd be curious to know what that is. But of course she's doing well. They do, a lot of people wonder, like, well, what do their cats do? They do a lot of similar things that they do here. Like, I've seen cats on the other side playing with string, playing with balloons, jumping over, like, you know, little streams of water. They can jump fast, like there's, oh, this is a longer discussion, guys, but I'm going to tell you, just imagine this. They can jump higher, further, longer distances, and they love experiencing that. It's like the universe lets them do what they've always wanted. Like, cats wish that they could jump to the top of a roof, but they can only jump to the top of a table. So when they leave this earthly realm, the universe gives them this ability to like jump to the top of a roof, or jump across like a big pond, or jump to the top of a tree quickly. And it's because they can't just, that consciousness can't just leave the cat form so quickly. It doesn't go like, well, now I'm a cat in this life, and so suddenly I'm going to be, I don't know, a human being with a bunch of stuff. Well, there's a long discussion, but basically animals are fragment consciousness, pieces of consciousness that can kind of form and become another being. Yes, that's how I've seen it work. But they don't just like suddenly become an elephant in the next life. So they spend some time still being a cat, but like a super cat on the other side.
Super cat. He said the ashes are on the left side of her room on top of a tall dresser.
The ashes are on the top of the left side of the tall dresser.
Ring a bell.
Oh, yeah. So where's the bell?
Next to your hip.
No?
Yeah,
it's over here. It's over here.
See, I told you I should be the one with the bell. I know I would use it much more than you.
Can I tell you something? I
have
need a new bell, because here's why.
Hogged the bell.
So when I ring this bell, see how it like rubs against the side sometimes?
No, that is way too specific for me.
I need a bell that doesn't do that.
That was very on brand for Riz to notice that, though.
I just hear
See,
bell
it rings
ringing.
like twice, and then it starts scraping the sides. This is a defective bell, guys. Anyway, next question.
I wanted to make so many jokes, and I had to just shut all of it down really fast.
Okay.
Romina is Carla's daughter's name.
Romina.
Yes.
Okay. It's Oh, is that? You know, I thought at first it was Archangel Uriel's name. No, the name is Ariel, like the same name that was used in Little Mermaid, but it's not the Little Mermaid, Romina. It is, that's the name. So it's like Ariel, which is actually, I think it's a very old Hebrew name.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Ariel.
That's the name of this guide that is speaking to you. Very peaceful, beautiful guide. I see a lot of doves and a lot of peaceful energy. Yeah, so you can just call her and say, yeah, I'd like to get some insight into something or some guidance. And when your guide gives you messages, they're not, your spirit guides are not there to give you what you want. They're not like you go, hey, spirit guide, get me that thing. It doesn't work like that. Spirit guides are there to help you evolve, to help you connect the dots of your life. And if there's a message that's appropriate for you to get, that's predictive in nature, like you've been experiencing, they will tell you. You are not supposed to know everything that has happened or is going to happen. You are only supposed to know what you are supposed to know. So just trust that. Okay.
I have two things to tell you.
Yes.
You're getting a lot of comments about your pants, and everyone wants to see them. That's the first thing I want to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Your pants are blowing up the chat.
Your pants are getting a shout out.
I buy my stuff sometimes, you know, it's like hit or miss. Sometimes you go on my Instagram feed, there's I follow a lot of fashion pages. And there's stuff that I like. So these are like tiger stripe. There you go. They're very loose material. There you go, guys. Want to see the pants?
Yeah.
And super comfortable, super smooth, soft.
You know what? If you put your legs together,
Yeah.
it almost looks like a skirt. And you should wear a skirt one day.
You know,
because in many cultures they wear skirts, and now in the United States we're starting to wear skirts a lot. And I just want to see you in a skirt.
yeah, I mean, anybody can wear a skirt. Doesn't matter.
You would look really great.
Thank you. I would wear one.
You should wear one when it gets warmer.
You know, somebody.
But there was another thing I was going to tell you.
What?
So we also have a request to pull a card.
Sure.
If you're open to it.
Sure. Let me take one more question, then I'll pull a card for that somebody.
All righty.
They wanted to put numbers though. They wanted.
Sure.
So Chantal would really like a message from her guides. She is waiting for a surgery.
Chantal, the first thing I want to say here is that I feel like there's a few things that you need to work on with your health, and the surgery is certainly is proper, but I'm seeing a little bit a little bit of a laundry list of things. Don't feel bad about this. Listen, you sometimes you have laundry lists. Part of your, I feel like your spiritual path right now is through the healing of the body and the upgrading of the body. So don't just look at it as fixing what's wrong, but also improving. So it's not home repair, it's home improvement. It's like raising the value of this house, okay? It's going to appreciate in value. But it is about putting you on the path to really honing in on your own holistic lifestyle. And holistic is, I said your own holistic lifestyle, not you don't have to do what I do or what somebody else does, but like really dialing it in, like what really works for you, and doing the standard things of, you know what they are, everybody knows, less white flour and white sugar and no seed oils and all of that, no fried stuff. Everybody knows that. Once in a while, it's all right. But it is about really finding what's your individualized plan to keep the inflammation down and keep the circulation going and upgrading your health. Okay. So just see it as that. It's a process, and you will do, I don't see surgeries after this surgery, but what I do see is that this is going to make you more aware and tuned into your body, which is a very, very good thing, very powerful thing. And I actually think that other people are going to listen to like, oh, how did you do it? How did Chantal do it? How did she make herself more healthy? And it's going to help others too. So that's the message right now, is to do this with peace and to know that you're using this chapter of your life to improve your body, not just keep it as a survival machine, okay? It's to thrive, not just survive. Should I pull a card?
Yes.
Okay. Back here to the old Riz the Wiz Spirit Guide. The Riz the Wiz Spirit Guide Oracle deck.
You're getting a lot of 17s.
Yep.
17.
17.
Ooh. She's only 17. Who knows that song? Ready?
I don't know that.
I know, because it's...
Well, that means I have to go stand up. Okay, hold on. Let me get myself situated.
If you have not ordered your Spirit Guide Oracle deck, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting
Listen, by the way, for those of you who did order it, it is being shipped out, I think, March 18th, 19th? The week of March 17th.
That's when they will arrive.
The printers have said it will arrive to us.
To us.
Yes.
Then we ship it to you guys.
There'll be orders filling this entire room to the top, and we will be sitting here.
Put fun little charged magical things for all of your wait and patience for all this fiasco craziness, and we are going to make sure you have some little love gifts in there for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hold. Okay, so 17.
Printers sometimes they just
17.
Make you wait. Okay. 17. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you guys
5,
for the compliments
6,
about my red
7,
hair. I was a little
8,
nervous that I
9,
wasn't going to
10,
get the right color,
11,
but I really like
12,
it.
13,
I'm getting used to
14, 15.
I've been blonde for a while, so.
And 17. Oh, my favorite card of the deck.
Are you serious?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm going to go stand there and hold it.
Okay, here it is.
Okay, so you're going to
You guys picked my favorite card of the deck.
You're going to direct me.
I will. Okay, go ahead.
You ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay, lower. And closer. That's perfect. A little bit lower. A little bit higher. Okay, perfect. Okay. So guys, look at it. This is called the prize. My favorite card in the deck. And I'm going to read you the channeled message. Take a good look, everyone. This is for everyone watching right now who requested that number 17. I'm going to go to the page in the book, which is the book. The companion book comes with it, guys. You go to our website and go to the store, and you can get one. And this message was a poem. Here we go. They tell you there's a prize inside. They even wrote it on the signs in big, bold colors that speak to you. Your eyes feast pinks, purples, and blues. But with every bite, do pause and savor. The journey itself has so much flavor. On your way to the prize, don't rush on through, reaching for it too fast, too messy, too soon. Let it appear on its own in its magical way, in the yum of the fun and the start of your day. What if it's not the prize that they said? Something totally different and stranger instead. Would you be mad at all the digging you did? Would you forget how the path there was delish? Every crunch, every snap, every crackle and pop, you never even considered to stop. Because your eyes on the prize was not the reason. You loved every morsel so happy and pleasing. And the prize was just a way to give you a moment to reflect on the fun and the path you have chosen. So smile, my friend, you've just realized that the journey itself was always the prize.
Oh my God. I love that.
I just thought one day when I was doing this deck.
I love this. It's like every kid's dream to be inside this world.
Yeah.
When
It was my dream.
When you're growing up and you're having your bowl of cereal, you're so friends with the cereal, and your mind is still so connected to your angels and spirit guides and the other side.
Yeah.
You just imagine all these things.
Yes.
The fact that you were able to bring that back.
Well, everybody's oracle decks are, I just got bored of the way people were doing oracle decks. It was always the same thing, the same picture of Saint Germain, the same picture of Archangel Michael, and I wanted to share what I was feeling, my connection to the guides over all these years. And the prize was all the other cards in this deck. They were all from spirit guides, and there's just 2 cards that are like from me, and that it's that card and the card of the prize is from me, very personal. It's my favorite, most personal card. And then the other card is the card of interdependence, which wasn't from a spirit guide. It was from kind of Gaia, the universe. I'll do one more card.
Okay.
Yeah, there's time. The next popular number was 15.
Yeah.
15. I'm going to shuffle. Here we go. 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and here's 15 on the top. Oh, this is amazing. It's the goddess Ishel. You want to show it to them? Yes. Sorry, you got to get up again. Okay. But I want them to see it. Okay, lower. There we go. That's fine. Sure. I could stay in out of focus. Go a little bit lower. Okay, a little bit higher. A little bit lower. You're doing macro movements. I need micro movements, but that's good. Move it a little bit towards the right. There we go. Okay.
But I can't.
That's perfect. Sure it's staying in focus. Don't worry. Okay. So this is the goddess Ishel. If you notice, you see the people meditating. You see the land behind her. You see the cosmos and the universe. She is the Mayan goddess. And I'm looking her up, and here she is, 109. No, it's fine.
It's okay.
It's like shadowed.
It's okay? Okay. Let me get to the page. Here we are. Ishel. I'm Ishel, and I'm here to tell you that you are pregnant. Are you surprised? Does this news make you smile or terrify you with worry? Do you deny the possibility? How can you be pregnant? What do you mean, how? You know how. You have been fertilized by the universe as you were asleep for many moons. Do not be confused waking up from your slumber, groggy and teary-eyed to discover a pulsating womb inside you. Years of misconceiving have led to conceiving. Misconceptions you nursed and raised, growing and transforming themselves into real and viable life-affirming conceptualizations, now ready to birth you in realization. You did not know that the tears you shed were watering your soil. The manure became divine fertilizer. The heat of a blazing fire in your heart, beaming rays of light to where all life reaches towards, all the while channeling life force through. So now you are here and must answer me. Will you see through this birthing of you? Or do you feel it is not the right time, that you are not ready, that the perfect time has not still arrived? It is here by your own doing. It is you who opened to receive and called out for this rebirth long ago, and it is you who shall nurse and teach and be in wonder at this new life that you are watching grow. So do not be afraid. Relax and push, relax and push. Breathe deeply, cry to the heavens, or seal your aura with a firm, icy, smooth resolve. Cry to the heavens, or seal your aura with a firm, icy, smooth resolve that you have this in your control now. You have accepted your choice to rebirth yourself while still alive, bringing forth not a new you, but the true you, the magical one, the infinite one. It is what you have been waiting for. Release the chains. See the chakras lighting up in her? Look at the cosmos behind her. And the chakras lighting up in the people who are sitting in front of her. So guys, you guys who call 15, call out to Goddess Ishal.
Yes. I want to have a little group breathing session to release before we go.
Please do. Let's end with that.
Everybody take a deep breath in. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to jump right in. Hold. Hold. Release. Slowly. Take in what Goddess Ishal just said. Breathe it in into your cosmos inside of you. Breathe it in one more time on a count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in through your nose. Up. Hold. Keep holding it and release. Slow next time. Slow in and release slow. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Everyone breathe in. Take it all the way up. 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 More. Hold as long as you can. Slow release through your nose when you're ready, or mouth and pursed lips. Release slow. Know that all information is for you. If you felt called to be here tonight, it's for a reason. If you felt zapped, it's for a reason. If you laughed and you giggled to yourself, it's for a reason. If you felt a connection, it's for a reason. If you felt electricity flowing through you, it's for a reason. If some word or one word was all you needed to hear tonight, it's for a reason. If you heard what you needed to hear or didn't hear what you needed to hear, it was for a reason. If you didn't get picked, it's for a reason. If you got picked, it's for a reason. It is all consciousness, and we're all in it together. There's no separation, no hierarchy. We are all one. Keep this in mind. Know you're in the right place at the right time with the right people. That being said, aho.
Be well. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Drop in on TikTok, Psychic Riz the Wiz, and I'm going to be hanging out with you guys.
He gives free reading, guys, every couple days.
Yeah.
Go on there.
Make sure you follow me there.
And get some
and if you're not on TikTok, get on TikTok. You know, a lot of people did a lot of things to make sure TikTok stayed around, and there's so much amazing spiritual stuff there. You'd be very surprised. It's not just all songs and dances and bears breaking into houses.
Okay, talk to you guys.
The stuff that I click like on.
Right.
Much love.